This is my video response to the assignment for Media Fast / immersion task. There's a reason I look a bit weird. It's because I'm not too well. I've got conjunctivitis and a bit of a sore throat, so I'll try and speak as clearly as I can for you. I'm going to start with the Media Fast because I did that yesterday, and I've completed the Media Immersion task today. I found the fast really difficult. It was a really, really difficult task. The night before, I went to sleep after checking Facebook, put my laptop down beside my bed and went to sleep. And when I woke up, my first instinct was to reach down beside my bed and grab my laptop to check Facebook again. But luckily I clocked that I probably shouldn't do that if I'm doing my media fast, and I managed not to ruin it before it had began. It was really difficult to know what to do with my day, to be honest. I mean, revision was out, I couldn't read a book, can't access the student portal to look at my lecture slides or my notes or anything. I found it completely impossible to avoid media, and it's really difficult to know where to draw the line with regards to what I define as media. This room is chock-a-block full of branded objects. Like these are my boyfriend's actually, but these lemon cupcakes, fabulous baking boys, they're just around. I mean, even the eye drops I was using for my conjunctivitis are branded. There's just some Doritos over there, Coke bottles and stuff like that. And I didn't count these things as a failure of the task because I didn't deliberately access them. I just thought I'd better mention it. I've mentioned it in the journal, and I'll probably mention it in the essay as well. It just really shows how much we consume, subconsciously during the day. It was only because I had my mind on not consuming media that I really noticed them. I slept for a bit of the day because obviously I've not been too well, so I'm not sure whether that's cheating or not, going to sleep, because you can't really consume media while you're asleep. But when I woke up, I honestly just sat there, had no idea what to do. It shows how much media's really latched on to my life, that all the entertainment I can think of revolves around media. So I've started sewing recently. I'm fairly new at it. I'm not very good, so I thought I'd pass the day doing that, and it worked for a while. In fact, I thought it had worked really well. I spent about 2.5 hours sewing away, and I made a cushion, and I was really proud of myself because I thought, yeah, I've just spent about 2.5 hours without media. I don't need media. I can entertain myself. Then I looked down and realised that I'd been sewing on a John Lewis sewing machine with John Lewis written on it quite visibly, that I'd been using branded fabric scissors, and that without even thinking about it, I picked up this magazine and copied out one of the templates from the back. So it didn't go quite as well as I'd imagined. I completely failed. In other words, I distracted myself so well from the task that I completely forgot I was doing it. Even when I'm consciously avoiding media, I do it automatically because it's something that's such a given in my life. I completed my media immersion today. I did it from 11 o'clock in the morning till 8 p.m. And the one thing that it really highlighted to me was just how much I feel the need to check Facebook. I've recorded 4 times that I did it during the day, but I felt myself wanting to a lot more. Well, I noticed myself wanting to. I imagine that on an average day, when I wouldn't be conscious of having to write down all the media I consumed, that I'd probably check Facebook about twice the amount that I actually have. I think this task might have been a lot easier for me than it was for some other people doing it, because I'm not so well. I've not been out much today. In fact, I've only been out once. I went down to Spa, and imagining walking down the spine with all the posters on the pillars. Having to write down every single poster that you see sounds like absolute hell. I'm glad I didn't have to walk down there at any point. I mean, even when I went down to Spa, I had my little notebook writing down all the posters and all that kind of thing that I saw, and writing down branded clothing and the Spa offers that were on posters on the walls, and I got a few funny looks. So it was really difficult. In Spa, it was a complete media bombardment, because obviously there were brands everywhere. There was Heinz tomato soup and sticky toffee puddings, and just being bombarded with all these images of food. And obviously I just couldn't write them all down, because I'd still be there now. I can't write down the whole list of Spa's stock. And it's like, I nearly missed, on the way back up, I nearly missed a few posters, which really highlighted to me how you can see things without registering them, and maybe take them in subconsciously, but not really notice them in an overt way. And I had to go back and write down these posters that I'd had a quick glimpse at, rather than seen and registered properly. I'd also argue that life is sort of structured around media. I mean, if you read my list, I'm just having a look at it now, of what I saw today, you can tell exactly what I'm doing by what sort of things I'm consuming. Like, there's a point at, I've got from 12:52 to 13:05. You can tell I'm having a shower because of the products and packaging that I'm seeing. I saw L'Occitane, Lush, Head and Shoulders, VO5 and Colgate products, and it's very clear what I'm doing. And I thought that in a way this kind of mirrors what happens every single day with our internet browsing. Corporations like Google and Facebook, they sort of do this task every single day for every single user. Like, everything the person clicks, every advert the person clicks on, the amount of time somebody spends on the page, and all that kind of stuff is taken down, is all listed every single day, and then sold to advertisers, who can then make personalised adverts for us to consume. It's scary stuff, really. It's like a whole cycle that will begin again. The main thing I've really taken away from the last couple of days is, I just found this task so frustrating because of how much media we actually consume. There's just so much that it's really an impossible task we've been set, which I'm sure is the point of it, really, to highlight to us just how much media it has infiltrated, and how important it is, and how prevalent media messaging is in our everyday lives. And it really, really has shown me that. I've just found it so frustrating to have to write down every single little thing I see. And I mean, looking back at it, I feel like I should have seen more. I am worried that I might have missed some things. Obviously, there's everything around my room that's branded, and I've got like postcards with writing on the wall, but I wasn't quite sure whether to write them down as media that I'd encountered, because they were sort of always there, and I would have been here all day if I'd have done that. But I am shocked, really, at just how much I've missed on a day-to-day basis. Even as a media and cultural studies student, you'd think that we would have been a little bit more tuned in to what we see. And I may have felt like I was, but I really wasn't. I really wasn't. Today has really highlighted to me just how much of a feature it is in my life. It's been really eye-opening. I think I might call it a day for the video blog, so bye bye. And it's been interesting.